From the roar of the crowd to the roar of the engines, this is Pit Pass, Pennsylvania's racing show. Pit Pass features all your favorite tracks, interviews, highlights, thrills and spills. And here are your hosts, Ron Fox and Jan Miller.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Pit Pass here on WHVL. Now today we're going to return to the Senator John Heinz History Center in Pittsburgh, where we have our second segment of a three-part series on the auto racing history in Western Pennsylvania.
Now on Friday, we were also in the Pittsburgh area. We made a return visit to the Motordrome Speedway, and we will have highlights from the entire evening's program. But before the racing began, we caught up with co-owner Todd Melfi.
So Todd, it's later on in the season. We wanted to assess how it's going here at Motordrome.
Pretty good so far. We knew going in that we were going to have an uphill battle, kind of winning the competitors back and then getting the fans back. But we've completely rebranded the facility, which takes a little bit of time to finalize and get done. But so far this season, when the weather's been good, we've had pretty good crowds, and the racing's gotten better and better, and the car counts have been, steadily going up in each class throughout the season, which is a good sign going into next year.
So is this on track from where you expected to be?
Yeah, pretty much. Anytime you take over a facility in the first year, whether you build a new facility or take over one, that you have a lot of plans for that have changed from, the way it was previously, you don't really expect too much in year one. So we're pretty happy with where we are. It can always be better, but it can certainly always be worse. So, I think it's about on par from what we projected.
Now, the other tracks you've run were new tracks. This is your first time coming into a track that's already been established. How is that different for you?
You know what? Not too much. Because when you build a new track, you're implementing your philosophy, you're implementing your business plan, and this is kind of the same way. We made a lot of changes here, and we're going to continue to make a lot of changes. So, we have to win drivers back. We have to build car count just as if we were a new track. We have to build, one fan at a time, just as if we were a new track. But, the better thing here is you do have a base to work from, and you have some history here, which a new track doesn't. So, but really, when you get down to it, it's not much different.
Well, now this track used to have a much higher car count years ago. What is the key to reestablishing the asphalt racing in Pennsylvania?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think there's one thing we can pinpoint. One is the cost. I think we have to figure out, it's up to us, the track, to kind of keep the cost down in every division so that a lot more of the competitors can afford to do it, and then also enforce the rules. You got to keep the cost down, you got to enforce the rules evenly and fairly so that every driver, when they invest the money to come in and race and they come to the track every night, they know what they're getting. It's a level playing field. They're not going to get beat by a bigger checkbook or somebody that's got more money or a big sponsorship. So that's really what we need to do, and it takes time to do that. And then just consistency, getting the rules out early, getting the schedule out early, getting out and talking to drivers, being consistent in what you say. And I think that over time, and even this year we've seen it, it'll start to take its toll, and it'll start to come around.
Well, now, our drivers need a lot of confidence, and the car owners need a lot of confidence that you're going to be around for the years to come. Can they have that confidence?
Oh, absolutely, and that's what we've been telling them this year is, it's easy to say that. It's lip service, I guess, in some respects, but, I think that they've seen it as we've gone. We've made good improvements to the track. We put money into the track. We're going to get the rules out early. We're going to have drivers meetings right after the season's over, and we're going to try to get the schedule out, at least some of the dates out as quickly as we can. So, it'll take time again, but I think that as we get into this off season and as we start to set the schedule and as we start to get towards the next season, I think you'll see a big improvement this year, versus next year.
Are you talking with other tracks to be more compatible with the rules so that the cars can go from one track to another?
Yeah, that's always, a challenging task, but certainly we're trying to work with Jennerstown. Next week with our 100-lap TruePar 100 and their 75-lap race the next day, we have a joint point fund and a joint kind of purse that's going to be given out to the late models that run both tracks. We're going to have the rules the same, as much as we can, but hopefully identical. So yeah, we're constantly trying to work with them.
Are there any upgrades that we can expect to see next year here at this track?
Probably. It depends. I mean, obviously, if you ask me 5 years from now, you probably will hopefully see a brand new facility. I mean, a little bit at a time. We want to be able to repave it at some point, but that's a large capital expense that probably won't occur this off season. But yeah, we have some things, on our to-do list. Some are big, some are, more moderate. But we'll definitely, everybody, really when you come every week, you see something a little bit different each time. So, but next year, yeah, we'll probably make some improvements.
Excellent. Now, we do wish you the best with Motordrome. We would love to see it excel.
Thank you very much.
Now on to some highlights from Friday evening at Motordrome. In the 20-lap street stock feature, Andrew Kostelnik would grab the early lead of this race. Pole sitter Zane Farrell in the yellow 14 would fall into line behind Kostelnik, while defending track champion AJ Puljak in the orange 05 runs in the third spot. By lap 3, Puljak, who has been undefeated in street stock competition this season at Motordrome, works to the outside of Farrell to take over second. Then as they begin lap 4, Puljak begins to inch past Kostelnik and into the lead. On lap 5, Kostelnik runs the second groove through 3 and 4, opening the door for Farrell to move into the runner-up position. Kostelnik spins on the backstretch while running third to bring out the caution with 16 laps down. Puljak gets a great jump on Farrell on the restart. The battle for third is between the 94 Vic Keller and Mike Hulp. Down the stretch, AJ Puljak would hold off Zane Farrell to remain perfect on the season. Andrew Kostelnik battled back to finish third in the street stock feature. Joe Geary in the orange 00 led the Chargers to the green for their 15-lap event. The battle for second has a 07 of Chad Goring to the inside of Steven Sheltman in the 17 machine. Goring clears Sheltman by the time they exit turn 2. He runs in the tire tracks of Geary until they get to the middle of 3 and 4. That's when Goring squeezes under Geary as they begin to exit the turn. Coming down to complete the first lap, Geary has half a car length on Goring. But Goring makes up some ground going through 1 and 2. They are dead even as they start down the backstretch. Gradually, Goring would edge past Geary and into sole possession of the point position. A caution for debris on lap 3 tightened up the field once again and led to this battle for the 2nd through 5th positions. Aaron Minjock in the black and silver 34 races side by side with Sheltman with the 31 of Anthony Aiello in tow. As they go through 1 and 2, Aiello cuts underneath Minjock as they start down the backstretch and takes over 4th place. A few laps later, Minjock rides in 4th, but is able to overtake Aiello and Geary to move up to 2nd. In the latter stages of the race, Minjock closed the gap on Chad Goring, but not fast enough to keep Goring from taking the checkers. However, Goring was disqualified after a post-race inspection revealed an illegal carburetor, handing the win to Aaron Minjock. Now later on in the show, we will go back to Motordrome Speedway for some finishes that you just don't want to miss.
But up next, we're going to continue our series on the auto racing history displays at a Pittsburgh museum. That and more when Pit Pass returns.
Pit Pass is brought to you by Milheim Small Engine, your local Husqvarna dealer, located just 1 mile west of Milheim. Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. Visit PoconoRaceway.com for tickets. And by Seagram's Escapes. Color your summer.
What is it that makes a Husqvarna dealer a Husqvarna dealer? Well, just look close at the engineering in our outdoor power equipment. We're known for high performance and reliability in everything we make. So is it any wonder your Husqvarna dealer is also known for high performance and reliability in everything they do? With a nationwide network of Husqvarna dealers, there's one just around the corner.
Milheim Small Engine and Hardware is located just 1 mile west of Milheim.